This time we have Mr. Duncan, my mysterious benefactor. We're going to sit on the sofa, I think, so otherwise he won't be even shot.
So, yes.
Also, Roger is here.
Yes.
Evening, Roger. Evening, Roger. So you sit down here, Roger. And don't eat all the snacks we've got either, Roger.
Yes.
Mr. Duncan, my mysterious benefactor, Mazda 2 owner, Ford Crown Victoria owner, serial Crown Victoria owner.
Yes.
And
you missed one, sir.
Sorry?
You missed one.
Oh, yes.
Car? Yes. We can talk about it. Because it's only 3 days after.
No, we can't talk about that, sir. Your opportunity passed with us. Your opportunity passed.
Viewers, I nearly got my way there.
You almost did, but no.
It looks very, very.
No, sir. We're not only getting away with that one. That's not on. Crown Victoria owner, Chevy Impala owner.
Yes.
Mazda 2 owner and owner of cars we can't discuss on the channel. And writer of theme tunes.
Yes.
We do like theme tunes on this channel in general. We also like the. I'm going to bring up the comments in a minute on here because, as you can see, that's the other side of the room, and we're here. So that's why I have this up as well. We will bring this up, and we'll turn the news on. And we'll have a look at the people who are already on. Yes. Hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, and that is a very nice poster at the back of a Mondeo V624 valve in the British Touring Car Championship.
It's quite an unusual engine. Are you familiar with what engine is actually inside there? Oh my goodness, who knows that clown?
That would be you, sir.
Oh, sorry.
You crazy man. Later on we'll be having some live music and we're going to try to sing. We're going to sing 2 different pieces.
Yes.
This is like a variety show, isn't it?
It's not even actually rehearsed, is it?
I know. It's a bit better. It's terrible. But, you know, that's why we call it a slightly less professional live stream, sir.
Do we?
We do, sir.
What does it say there?
Oh,
it doesn't say live stream.
I'll have to edit that later on.
It just says live stream.
I know. It's terrible.
Nothing about unprofessional.
That's even worse.
I don't remember agreeing
to
this.
I don't think you did you, sir? I do apologise. It's absolutely terrible. It's like the worst thing
Mr. Lloyd hasn't even been on the alcohol yet.
No, sir. I'm not drinking because I'm driving back, sir, in the sunny.
Yes.
Which we had a little trip out yesterday. I can't say at the moment actually who it was I went to see yesterday because I don't actually know if he's the one that he's going up, so I can't say.
Yes.
But I went to see a certain somebody yesterday.
Yes.
Whom you're familiar with.
Yes. And
there we go. Well, here we are. Oh, we've got some people chatting away here. Oh, Agent Barry, that guy from SETI Alpha 5. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. He's a gentleman who's British but lives in America. He's an author, and he I can't remember. I think he's still got his Firebird. He might not have sold it actually. He might still have that.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting one. It's like a 79, I think, or an 80.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did have a Camaro. That was quite close to a Firebird, I suppose.
What year was that, sir?
It was 87.
Was that the Knight Rider shape? Yeah, pretty, wouldn't it?
Was it a Camaro?
Yeah, Camaro and the Firebird were similar.
It was Nyrock Z.
Oh, Z, yeah.
No, isn't it Camaro, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
87. But it was a 5 litre. It wasn't the 5.7, and someone repainted it in Lotus Orange.
It wasn't It wasn't a 6-cylinder one, though, was it?
No. If you have a Yankee, it has to be 8.
We were talking
unless it's an Impala.
We were talking about the other day. We were talking about the Mustang that lives up with Nigel at 00 Garage in the northeast, weren't we?
Yes.
It's a 96, isn't it?
Yes.
It's that one, and that's only a 6-cylinder, and they're like valueless, aren't they? Completely.
143 brake horsepower.
Yeah, they're not very fast.
And the SN95, I think.
It's the same as a 2-litre Volvo S40.
Yeah,
exactly. It is.
It's more or less.
Exactly the same. Yeah.
More or less. And then, of course, you then got the automatic transmission holding you back.
Yeah, so your manual S40 will be quicker than that Mustang.
Yeah, probably lighter as well.
Yeah. Apparently, Agent Barry's got that same BTCC poster.
Oh.
There is another one in the room. We might move the camera a little bit and show the other one as well. We've actually got we've also got one above here which shows some Crown Victorias.
Yes, yeah. This is the Crown Victorias we went around.
This is the one on the right, isn't it, sir?
No, it's the one on the left. I haven't owned the one on the right yet.
Not yet.
No, that's up in Scotland.
It's a big display show, isn't there?
It's on A. Was that A2? A2 size. A2. Yeah. So that was
good picture, isn't it?
Filmed at Bentwaters. And that was during COVID times, and there was
right.
43 of us that all got together.
43.
Yeah, so if you put in, I think it is actually on YouTube, and if you put in American police cars biggest gathering ever, it's up there. So yeah, the front two, mine's the 2011 Los Santos car, and behind that is the Aero Crown Victoria, which is 93.
Yeah, it's a really early one, isn't it? That it's an early one.
Yeah,
so it came in 92, wasn't it? It came in 92.
Yes.
Yeah. It's an early one.
Yeah, exactly. So slightly different doors and all this stuff.
So Paulie Garcia says, "Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, sir."
Good evening.
I says Mazda unit. Oh, I can't remember what we're talking about. The engine in the Mustang's a Mazda unit.
Oh, possibly. I think we were also. I briefly started talking about the engine that's in the Mondeo touring car, because of course they were only limited to it. They were limited to a 2 litre, weren't they?
Yeah.
But of course the V6 is a 2.5.
It says, yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure what engine. Viewers.
Would it be a Z-Tech R then? Because the 2 litre in the Mondeo is a Z-Tech R.
V6, though, isn't it?
I mean, like the 2 litre Mondeo is Z-Tech R. Like not Nigel's one's a Z-Tech R. It's 2 litre gear.
But the V6 is a 2.5.
Yeah, but of course they couldn't use it in there because 2 litre engines.
Yeah.
So what have they put in there then? Because
there
wasn't a 2 litre V6 type. It came the X type. So
I don't know. Viewers will answer that question.
Right, here we go.
Because of course there's so there must be a 2 litre 5-pot in the Volvo 850 as well.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
Mm.
There was the early 850s were only available with the 2 litre 20 valve engine. The very early ones.
2 litre then?
Yeah, the very early ones.
Okay, I did have one.
Yeah. I actually bought one a while ago.
Yes.
It's in a very vlog, I think. Actually, I think I might have some footage of it. I've got some.
They go rusty on the front wings.
This one was perfect. It was rather like the Audi.
Yes.
It was a 93. It's a 2 litre SE manual.
Right. Okay.
And it had been a Volvo press car, but a few months after it was new, it was bought by somebody from Rudd's Volvo in Southampton.
Okay.
Because you see Rudd Volvo Southampton on it with the old pre-1995 area code.
Okay.
So I knew that it was a very early purchase. Because the car's 93, but it was a pre-95 plate with 0703 on it. And the chap had it. He died 10 years previously, and his lady wife still had it in her garage. He didn't really want it.
Yes.
And I got it. It was on trickle charge. When it started, the battery would have been totally knackered in it, and things like that. The car was really clean. I mean, it was at the time. Yes, it was a base model. It wasn't. There was no leather or anything. If you wanted a nice 850, you bought a GLT.
That's it.
It was what they called the big headlight model.
Okay.
It's very early on. Had very big headlights, didn't they? And then
in the 50s.
Yeah, in 1994 they came out in 92.
Yeah.
In 1994, they changed them for the smaller headlamps.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's any estates on the big headlamps. It would be small headlamps, but 94 would be a very early estate with smaller headlamps.
Yeah.
So when Mr. Coleman saw it, he got quite excited. But the problem is, I couldn't put a deal together with the owner. She was quite elderly and she had dementia, and the car. Mr. Coleman and I went through what we needed. He said, "You're going to need a cam belt. You're going to need a new battery. You're going to need tyres. You probably need brakes. You have to get it up here. He's got no MOT. Maybe I should have offered her a bit more money for it because it was really nice. It wasn't it was really clean. There's no rust or anything on it because it always been garage. You see,
right?
It's really nice.
So it was an SE.
Yeah, it was an SE manual, a very early 2 litre 20 valve, which is the first type of white block there ever was with a 5-cylinder.
So it had the wheel trims, I suppose.
Yeah, it had wheel trims. Yeah. Would have been nice with a GLT, but you know.
Yeah, GLT of the leather and all the rest of it.
Yeah, because Mr. Richardson's one he drove was also a really early one like that, and that was a GLT. Because when the car was launched in 1992, it's got to April 92. The only specification available was a saloon GLT with the 2 litre 20 valve. That's all you got.
Okay.
And later on, you got a ton of other engines as well. But
yes.
Anyway, we've got some lively conversation going on here, sir.
What's going on here? Paying attention.
So Mazda unit, yeah. The engine in like the S40 we're talking about was a Mazda unit, a 2 litre, or in the C-Max, or in the Focus or whatever.
Yeah, it's
tons of cars.
1.8 and 2 litre.
Yeah, and then the MX-5.
They badged it as a Duracet, didn't they?
That's right. ZDOS had a V6. There was a It was a 2 litre V6 in the Zedos. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I think he's talking about 2 litre V6 in the Zedos. Yeah, Mazda engine. Yeah,
and of course, you actually have a Mazda Zedos in the BTCC as well.
Yeah, so that makes sense. You put that engine in. Yeah, sure.
I don't think that's the engine they put in there in that Mondeo.
Maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
No, I think they just kind of did something to it.
So Barry sold his Firebird. It was actually 77. I haven't seen photographs of the car since like 2020, 2021.
Right.
And it was a striking colour. It was beautiful. It was bright red.
Right, okay.
With chicken on the hood.
Wow. That's very, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
He says, technically same as Smoky Bandit Carbon in red. Okay. And Trans Am Firebird and Camaro are the same car underneath. Yeah, they were for years, weren't they?
Yes.
They were the same thing.
Yes.
Paulie has asked, Barry, have you seen Reverend Parry Hughes' motorhome? I haven't seen Reverend Parry Hughes' motorhome. Of course, I know he sold a 45 V6, which again is for sale. The chap who we saw at the social because you were there as well, of course.
Yeah.
He's, as you know, he's selling it. We don't quite know why. We're not sure about that one.
It looks like a nice car.
Yeah, it is a nice car. It's just like, as a daily driver, it's pretty hopeless because you can't get the parts for it, and it does 29 to the gallon on a good day.
Did he get that Becker working in it? As Becker radio, or have you still got that?
He got it working.
Oh,
I should actually kept the one that was in the car. He didn't really want it, so I should have just taken it out.
Okay.
Because I would have used that in one of the other cars or like that, which is a shame.
Radio,
but his only one was for me. It was fine. The Becker one, I think he just found a code for it and it worked.
Yeah, that's it.
So he put it in, which is fine. It's original
easy
car.
Easy to find.
Yeah, it's car's original one. I wanted something Bluetooth because I was using it on a daily basis all the time. Right? I didn't want just a normal thing because it's annoying about Sunny. Like kind of, you've got to have either a little speaker or I have it in the glove box.
Yeah.
Which is just the way that it goes because I just can't be bothered to put like 4 new speakers and a radio in it.
Yeah.
If Mr. Brisgen's going to have it back, which he probably is. So.
It's pretty cool to think that's the original radio from 1989.
It is.
When the car was actually sort of bought brand new.
That's right.
And playing, Kylie Minogue and who else,
Yeah, Kylie Minogue, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Hue and Cry.
Yeah, all that sort of lovely stuff.
Sting.
I keep thinking of stuff like The Cure and things like that.
Okay.
Because that was good stuff in the late 80s and early 90s.
Yes.
So obviously the motorhome, fortunately, I said this to quite a lot of people. I spent a lot of time kind of trying to make my own videos, and I actually made one yesterday and I made 2 today. They're not particularly impressive videos, but I'd have to keep it sort of going, and I don't have a lot of time to watch all these different channels. Reverend Parry Hughes' videos, they're quite long, and I just don't have time. Mr. Hunter, when he covered the auction that I did, I covered this immense, very vague vlog, 38 minutes long, where I went through all the results from CCA at the NEC, all the results at Eubanks. I did it all in 38 minutes.
Wow.
He took well over an hour just to do the CCA auction. But of course, he would have put like the video. I haven't really got time to do 170 pictures in a video.
No.
It just, very vague vlogs don't tend to be most popular videos. So I thought, well, we'll just, what I said is just like we're all there. You just have to watch the videos through. There's 4 of them, and all the cars do actually appear.
Yes.
It's just I haven't got quite time to do that for video. Will get about 200 views. It just sort of it's just not use of my time. Agent Barry says not been on his channel for a while. He had a falling out of Livestream. The live streams on there, they can get a bit crazy. I know from my own experience. I don't tend to sort of go on those anymore personally. It's just my sort of thing, but I find them a little bit sort of scary. Mark Persad says, "Good evening, gents. Good evening, sir."
Good evening, Mr. Persad.
Yes. Paulie Gattari says the early powered 850s had 4 stubble instead of 5.
That's quite interesting. I didn't know that.
I didn't know either.
That's a bit like an Astra Mark, whatever it is.
Yeah. Mark 3 because the V6.
No, later than that. I had a 54 plate Astra 1.4.
Astra G. Was it Astra G? Was it a G or an H? Because a 54 could be either. You know what an Astra G is, said.
The same shape as the Hot Fuzz one.
Astra G.
There you go.
So it's a very late Astra G.
No, that's a very early one, isn't it? The Hot Fuzz one.
Yeah, that's Astra G.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, we asked you on a channel, 99. Know that one?
No, sorry, it's one after that.
Astro
no,
H.
after that.
Oh, it's a very early H, yeah. It's an H.
H for Hot Fuzz. Anyway, so yeah, that was the 1.4 of those had the 4-stud wheels.
Yeah.
I think if you had the slightly pokey 1.6 and above, it had 5-stud, which is very strange.
Yeah, you're right, because I've driven quite a few of them. We owned a 1.8 one of those, so it had 5-stud. Yeah, it was,
Yes, horrendous cars. Actually, it wasn't too bad.
To be honest, the Astro H's are actually not that bad.
I think the G's are best than the H's, I think.
Mr. Cole would agree.
Yes.
It's just at the moment the G's are really disappearing quite quickly.
Yes.
There's just not many left. Like the one that the brothers own in Fareham that I drove, which is like immaculate, fascinating, exceptional condition.
Yes.
It's a 1.68 valve, and it's quite slow.
Right.
Like I said to the chap who owns it, I said you should enter this for the concourse section. It's that good.
Yes.
Because it's so unexceptional. It's a perfectly eligible to 99. So
you can get the 1.460 out, which is actually faster.
That's quicker. Yeah, it's got like 82 horsepower or something.
Yes.
I can't remember now because I a lot of this time when I do the videos, I will remember the information for a time and then like it goes because then I go on to the next car,
yeah,
so I don't remember like all the details all the time.
Absolutely. But it's an encyclopedia of yours in the top of your head. So.
It's not. You know when I filmed a very special car yesterday, which I won't talk about. The channel members will see that quite soon.
Yes.
And it is such a departure from anything I've ever filmed before in my life.
Yes.
We've never even had this make of car on the channel before.
No.
And I had to look everything up because I knew nothing at all about it.
Put your guesses in the comment section, viewers.
Yeah, I don't think.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't think you're going to guess this.
Go on, put a guess.
Yeah,
there we go.
I don't think you will.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not even going to say if you're right or not because I actually can't at the moment say that. So
no, it'd be quite interesting.
Channel members will see that anyway.
Yes.
So yeah, Polyarteria, 4-star, 5-star wheels. Agent Barry says a 5-cylinder Volvo engine in the touring car had a canted overhead.
Did it?
Did it? I didn't know that.
I think the first time they brought them out was at '93 because it was Rickard Rydell, wasn't it? I think
Rickard Rydell.
Who was of course the Estates, but I think they did actually go to the saloons.
They went to the
afterwards.
saloons later, yeah. But to be honest, having driven an 850 Estate on a track, they do handle quite well.
Yes, they do.
Just the one I drove was
quite stiff. Actually.
What I drove was a 2-litre 10 valves.
Right,
it was very slow.
120 brake horsepower.
24.
I think the one I had actually was a 2-litre 20 valve.
Yeah,
was that such a thing?
Yeah, the early ones were that.
Yeah, that's something else. What I had. It was an L or N reg.
Yeah, exactly. L.
M reg possibly. Yes.
Yeah. They replaced that with the 2.5 10 valve.
Yes.
Which is faster.
Yes.
That's got a bit more power in it.
Yes.
It was
alright to drive.
Yeah, they're fun with driving.
Very, very strange cruise control because I do like the cruise control.
What was the strange about it, sir?
Well, the cruise control as Mr. Pryor, who I believe you're familiar with.
Yes, sir, Mr. Pryor, sir.
Mr. Pryor
at some point we will drive his car, sir.
Absolutely.
He does live quite a long way from here, though, sir.
Yes, absolutely. But the cruise control on the early ones, because it's a cable throttle, you set it to a speed, and then it slows down, and then it accelerates back up to that speed all by itself, rather than actually maintaining a speed.
Do you think it's a vacuum operated one?
I think that's possibly what it is.
Yeah, it's probably because my 45 V6 was a vacuum system.
Oh really?
Yeah, you're probably on a vacuum system there.
Oh, that's pretty well.
And obviously, whatever also has a cable throttle in it.
Yes. And
it's one of the later cars with a cable throttle in it. Actually, it means the throttle response is really good. A friend of mine drove it like early on when I had it. I think in 2021, and he was the first who'd ever driven anything like that. And he was absolutely mesmerised by it.
Really?
Well, yeah, he was like 20 or something like that, and he managed to stick it on a temp cover policy and have a go in it. And he absolutely loved it, which I'm not surprised really. Honestly, it was good. All right, so Agent Barry says a short video on his '77 Firebird. He left his ownership. Mark Persad, that is. Oh, it's a very good question, sir. In your opinions, what is the best Volvo Estate daily driver before 2015? I hate to tell you.
You might have to cover your ears.
I hate to tell you, but I think we're going to overlap here. We're going to overlap. But we're not. Remember, sir, what we can't talk about. You can mention a certain model, but you can't talk about those ones. So, what is the model of car, sir?
I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously, I've got an S60. I think the V60 version of that I think is quite a nice car, but it's not. They're not as well built as the earlier ones.
So, which one are you going for then, sir? I think I know.
I'd be tempted to say the P7, the V70 P2, which is what I've got as well. I think they're very good cars.
Well, yeah, that's why everyone's seen that one now because I sourced it recently.
Yeah, it's a good car. The only problem is you can't get an all-wheel drive one, which you have the XC70, but
they're about £1 million. The XC70.
Can you get an all-wheel drive V70 P2? You can't.
Just about, yeah.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, I've never seen one in kind of.
My friend's got a P3 V70 wheel drive.
Yeah, you can get P3. Yeah, they're not very common. I did check all the specs. You could get one, but I've never seen one.
Well, that would be my choice. Then the all-wheel drive one of those. If not,
you can actually find one.
Because I quite like rear-wheel drive. Because ideally, because it's just rear-wheel drive.
But we're talking about a Volvo estate here, sir.
So I'd probably have to say Mr. Coleman's one.
But the problem is, you have to pay the Mayor of London every time you go in, which we had to when we went in to do that job. We had to pay the Mayor of London. So it depends where you live.
What's the newest V90? As in the shape
1998, like his one.
Oh, so either way, I don't know.
The other way, Mayor of London's got you kind of.
If you're being boring, you'd probably say V70 P2 because they're good cars.
Yeah, I thing is, like, people in the Volvo Owners Club would probably agree with you, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because there's loads of people who've got them, and Mr. Coleman sort of says that too. The thing is, if you have an 850 or a P80 V70 or anything like, or an S70, they're not going to be compliant.
No.
None of them are.
No.
Because if they finished...
it's nice to drive, because I had a V70 so P1 plus the 850, and I didn't like them. They didn't seem as well built as the P2, and didn't handle.
I think that's a controversial...
I didn't like the dashboard either. Yeah, no, the P2 is a nice car, and you can easily put a Bluetooth adapter on the stock radios as well. So there's literally nothing to dislike about them.
The only problem is, when you're trying to find one, and this is something we found, Mr. Coleman and I, you can either get like a really scruffy one, and this is really funny. So when we went down to London, looked at a couple of ones that weren't very good.
Yeah.
I got a message the other day from a chap who was selling one of them. Bear in mind, we went to look on 1st of March, and it was like 20th of March, something like that. And he said, I've still got it. I think I know why you still have that car. I said, look, we found one the same day.
Yes.
So I appreciate it, but we found one the same day. So, he was actively selling it because the interior, I have never seen any car interior as bad as it. It looked like there'd literally been a fight in it. Like there were like holes all over the dash. Like someone had put stiletto heels repeatedly on the dash and pierced it, or someone had been in a knife fight. Now the car was a really unusual. In fact, it was an uncategorized write-off.
What does that mean?
Well, it means like the cosmetic condition of the car is so poor that it wouldn't be worth repairing it.
Oh, okay.
It's not even that kind of you can't put it back on road because it's got mechanical or structural issues. You don't do that.
Okay.
You don't do that. It was the interior.
Yes.
And it was so maybe someone had a fight in it. Like, that was maybe the reason why it ended up in the salvage auction.
No, it was in London.
Yeah, it was in London. Yeah, but mechanically the car was really good. It only had 83,000 miles.
Oh, mechanically, absolutely.
Yeah, it was really good. It was a 2003 in a nice blue colour with a beige leather interior. But said beige leather interior, you'd have to check, and apparently taking the dash out of them is almost impossible by taking the windscreen out.
Yes.
So like, if you've got to find a dash and a complete interior because it was that bad, like it's not going to be worth doing that, is it?
No.
Because you won't find a perfect interior anyway. They're all right.
Yeah.
But strangely enough, the one we found, the burgundy one, which my client has, that interior is really good, but it's still 165,000 miles.
What colour was that? What leather?
Like a burgundy colour.
The interior.
Yeah, it was a beige leather interior, sir.
Can we talk about beige leather interiors?
Yes, we can, sir.
Are we sure?
We can talk about beige leather interiors
all
day.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that bit.
So I think the kind of P3s are good.
They are, but they're not as well made, and there are a lot of electrical gremlins.
Yeah, there's the test of a P2 V60 coming up on the channel, which is it was beige leather interior. You know, that's coming up soon. It was a think a 17 plate. I think it was, or an 18. It was one of the two. It
Was
was
that
really.
the police one?
No, there was a police one there as well. I elected not to test it.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
I didn't test the police one for the simple reason
that is because there's actually a name for the police version.
Yeah, it is. The thing about those is that they're not a standard specification in them.
No.
And so he had this other one, which was a base leather interior. So you could get a T3, a T4, and a T5.
That's right.
The T5s were really weird and they were available really early on and really late on.
Yes.
And this was a late one, so it was the 2-litre VEA engine.
Yeah, that's it.
And so was the T4 I drove, the beige interior. That was a one-owner car from new.
Yes.
And it had been supplied by Kingsway Volvo in Winchester, which is now Snow's Volvo or King's Volvo.
Yes.
My mother bought her car in 1990.
Wow, okay.
So obviously, for me, that was more interesting.
Yes.
And it done some stupid intergalactic mileage, like 150,000 or something.
Wow, okay.
Going back to 17.
Yes.
And I thought, the thing is, that's what it was to Mr. Colvin. And Mr. Colvin sort of said, not even I know much about these engines.
No.
I think it was a Campbell engine, actually. I think it's a Campbell engine.
Don't know.
But that engine's in like virtually all the Volvos. That and a 1.5 cylinder.
Yeah.
Because on these cars, some of the V40s, the like post 2015 ones, the 1.5 and 2-litre engines, a lot of them produce the same power, but one's an auto, one's a manual. I think 1.5 is an auto and 2-litre manual.
Okay.
This car was a manual.
Okay.
Which made it, obviously, from our point of view, that's quite interesting. It was a manual.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And it was pretty quick. You got a T4. You could get a T3 as well, which is lower power, but obviously you could go crazy on those. You could go T4, T5, T6, and Polestar. So this was like, at the time, because the later one, it was the second most powerful car. I think on the early ones, they have that turbocharged 1.6 Ford engine, don't they? The early ones have that in them.
I think so.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
They do, yeah, like a V40.
Right.
You get a T2 in those as well.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, oh gosh, you need to go back a bit with these. You got rather carried away there, sir.
Yeah, sorry about that. We did have proper topics. We arranged.
It's okay, so we have to get on the piano quite soon, sir, because otherwise we won't have our musical performance.
Oh, okay.
So Agent Barry says my uncle had an 850. And my cousin had a V40. Yep, there's another V40 coming to channel soon, which is an interesting V40, as you know. The interesting one.
Oh yeah.
Yes, the interesting.
I've seen that
yeah,
one.
We've
Don't
seen
take that one through a car wash.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think it's possible. And Chambers 101 says, "Good evening, sir, and mysterious benefactor." Good evening, sir.
Chambers.
Good evening, sir. 101 refers to, I think, his forward control Land Rover that he's got.
Is it? Oh, that's in Judge Red.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Yes, thank you very much.
It's very strange comment just has been removed.
So
we're just going to skip it. We're going to skip ahead a lot of these. I'm afraid, Agent Barry, we can't talk about your lady wife's car because we don't talk about diesels on this channel. We do not, sir. And Paul Galtieri also has talking about another forbidden fuel car. What is it I need to say on this? Can't talk about it. JC says he likes Car UK. Yeah. I actually had an interesting conversation with Mr. Coleman the other day about the 1.2 Nissan turbo engine that Lee had mentioned. Now, I've driven a couple of cars with that engine, driven a Pulsar. The Nissan Pulsar, I think it's a C14, was one of the most disappointing cars I've ever driven.
Yes.
It's not a bad car,
yes,
but I really wanted it to be good
yes.
because obviously I own a Sunny,
yes.
and the Pulsar led you all the way down to the C14.
Yeah.
And I wanted the C30 and C14. I can't remember what they're called now. But registered at the time, so it was very bland. They wondered why Nissan, which already had the Qashqai and the Duke on sale, brought out the Pulsar. I think they were trying to absorb sales of things like the Focus and the Astra. Nobody really bought them, and of course they've got the 1.2 turbo in them.
Is there a wet belt? Or is it just?
It's just awful. They just blow up.
Yeah.
Like really badly, and I asked Mr. Coleman. Obviously, Lee's a very experienced mechanic, but Mr. Coleman, if anything's probably a little bit more. Not that I don't tell Lee that, but he.
I know he's watching this.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. I hope he's not. He's very good, but Mr. Coleman is just.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
a common special case. But he said, yeah, Lee's absolutely right. Those 1.2 engines do not ever source one. Never ever source one for
not even for me.
For anyone. No, we're not.
When I sold them,
and one thing that Lee did say, which it's not quite correct. He said the other engine in them was on the earlier cash cars was a 1.6, which it was. But you could also get, this is the same with the Pulsar, you can get a 1.6 turbo in that generation of cash car, the J11.
Yes. You
can get 1.6 turbo, and they're fine.
Yes.
They're quite rare.
Right.
They're not many around. Most of those cars we can discuss are the 1.2 turbo. Mr. Coleman's neighbour had a J10 cash car from 2007 until 2022. It did 300,000 miles.
That's quite a lot of miserable miles to do, so.
The thing is, the Qashqai, there are two problems with Qashqai. One is the boot handle.
Yes, they
as
always
you know,
go. Yes,
always go.
They disappear. Yes.
And then there's rust on the front and rear subframe. That's about it. They're not very interesting cars. I drove one. Lee had an immaculate one that I drove last year at LSB. It was immaculate. There was a really late one. There's 13. It was immaculate at 1.6. The interiors of the facing ones are a little bit better. There's not an awful lot to say about them really, but they're actually okay. They're fine. There's not a lot to say. I'm not talking about whether you like the styling or whether it's interesting. I'm just talking about you've got a family. You need to get them around relatively cheaply. They're all right. As long as you don't have serious corrosion on the back axle, which eventually killed off this 300,000 mile car. This chap was doing between 25 and 30,000 miles in the car every year. So loads and loads and loads of miles in it. He then had to scrap it because the rear axle just sort of let go eventually after 300,000 miles, and what was it over 15 years or something like that. It's about 15 years old. And so he bought a J11 with a 1.2 turbo engine, and guess what happened after 25,000 miles?
Yes, the engine went.
Total engine failure.
Yes, it's the Orchid. I thought I read somewhere because I did actually nearly buy a 1.2
No,
Pulsar.
sir.
I did.
Did you?
I did. I was offered it.
Oh no, sir.
Very. It was literally scrap money.
Was it a Pulsar?
It was.
All right.
And it was. Yeah, there was a problem with Orkans. The engine problem more or less blown up because excessive oil consumption. I kind of looked.
Yeah. It's terrible.
So yeah, that's a long time ago. So
yeah.
Yes.
But he actually said I think it's actually right. Lee said this, and Mr. Compton as well. It is not economical to put a new engine in any of these cars.
No.
The engine was discontinued about 2018, and it went to a 1.3, which is better. It's showing some early signs of problems, but it's better. But because they're all 2018 or earlier, only really the automatic cash cars like when I drove, so that engine would be worth putting a new one in. But nobody wants to.
No.
So I can't remember what they did. I think he sold this 2016 car in 2023 to We Buy Any Car for £350.
That's quite good for them.
Yeah, he didn't have a choice. I think you could just about run, but it just
that's quite good. For
it was it was same with the old Sonny engine. It was kind of it was big end had gone on it or something.
Yeah.
Which is a common sign of all starvation.
Yeah.
So just tell everyone who you know not to buy a 1.2 turbo Nissan engine. Don't buy any. Particularly, the chap then bought a Sportage, which I think is a 1.6, like the one I drove a while ago. I can't remember exactly when it was. It was either late last year or early this year.
Yes.
And a Tucson. Now again, they're not very interesting cars particularly, but they're really, really reliable. If you want to buy a car like a Qashqai, buy a Tucson or a Sportage.
Yes.
They're about 1 million times better.
That's true. Yeah.
And they don't have dreadful oil consumption when you need to throw the engine away. That's a good sort of piece of advice. Anyway, what were we saying here? So, Car UK, Rhubarb Car Channel. I'm not sure. I'm not from Rhubarb one. Mark from Bad Books says evening.
Evening, Mr. Bad Books.
So, Polygoto says tax predictive taxes of full swing tonight. What does that mean? On Chops Garage,
Code, sir.
Right, yes, maybe it is. Chops Garage, yeah. Chops Garage is good. I like watching Chops Garage.
Yeah, I like him. He's alright. So he's alright.
And he's like the rest of us. It's don't buy a PureTech engine.
Yeah.
Don't buy an EcoBoom engine.
Yeah.
Careful about the Volkswagen TSI engines. He's very sort of
he's all right.
like that. But he's a bit
He's
fond.
run of the mill cars, but he does occasionally have some weird. So he had a Jeep Wrangler, didn't he?
He likes MGBs, doesn't he? He loves MGBs.
Yeah,
He's got tons of those.
Yeah. But he seems alright.
He's also not.
I think he gets some stuff from Shifting Metal as well, doesn't he? I think.
He does. They know each other, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, and High Peak. Does he deal with High Peak?
No.
Or is that Shifting Metal and High Peak? I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nice, good, yeah.
What have we got here? So,
Yes.
good evening, Paulie Walnuts. That's interesting. This predicted text is going crazy tonight. Chambers 101 says, my uncle had an 850 in a very dark metallic green. Yeah, I know that colour. It's like a sort of mix between dark green and sort of olive green, isn't it?
Yes.
It'll be a later one, I think.
Nice
JC says, oh, and Hobnut. Yeah, I mean, like, you name me a channel that so some of you know which would have got started without Ian Seabrook.
Mm-hmm.
Furious Driving, no. I Drive a Classic, no. Me, no. There's loads.
That's how you met Mr. Coleman.
So I met Mr. Coleman, so Rubbish Mechanic, that's another one. So it goes on and on like that. Twin Cam, no. He started with Ian Seabrook.
Mm-hmm.
It just sort of on and on and on.
And up and down as well.
Up and down, yeah.
That's a good channel.
There's loads. There's so many of us. Like I won't have a bad word said about Ian Seabrook. I think Ian Seabrook's a fantastic chap. He's quite shy, and he has very, very interesting tastes and stuff I don't agree with, but that's fine.
Well, there's no harm in being different. So.
Mr. Coleman does not understand my admiration for the Morris Tap.
Right.
I say to Mr. Coleman, I prefer Vital to Marina. He goes, Mr. Coleman's got certain things he says. He's like, one of them says, you know my opinions about that, sir. And the other one is, it's like, think you're on your own there, sir.
Yes.
That's one of the things he says. You're on your own there, sir.
Yes. Fair enough. Okay. Each their own.
So we got Baz Meredith. Not heard of that one. Headfine says I had two V70 T5s and not even problems. Yeah, the T5s, I don't touch them personally.
No, you've got PCV problems.
Oh my gosh! My C70, that was what happened to it.
Yeah.
The oil seals blew out and took a PCV system with them, and the car wasn't worth repairing. I had so many people tell me like, "Oh, you should get it repaired," and things like that. It's like, well, I had Mr. Coleman tell me, it's like, well, that's £2,000. You paid £1,250 for the car. Like, is that what you want to do? The car wasn't that good either.
No.
C70s aren't worth that much money either.
No.
I hate to say this as well, but the Mark II C70s, like a friend of mine at Volvo's Club, he had an immaculate C70 T5, low mileage, and that engine's also let go on him.
Oh, really?
He had to scrap the car.
That's such a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you have a problem with the roof, which is on the Mark II as well. Yeah, like I drove, which was, this is hilarious, it's a broken roof, it was a T5, and it was it's a 2008, so it was in the mega tax.
Oh, God.
It was £720 in a tax it. I think Lee had paid less than £700 for the car.
Yeah.
So he stuck it up to £995, which is fine. I mean, it was quite good fun. The engine was all right in that. Mm-hmm. It was an automatic one. But they're not, if the roof breaks, you've got an engine problem.
Yeah. That's gone.
They don't tend to rust very much.
No.
But that's the biggest problem. It's not worth anything.
The coupe is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Quite cool.
Yeah, it is. But
yeah.
See, the V70 T5s are the same with the same engine. I'd say to people, buy the 2.4, 2.5.
They still sound nice.
Yeah.
They're just a bit slower.
Or the 2-litre turbo, 2.4, 2.5 turbo, it's fine. But anything high pressure turbo, just don't buy it pretty much.
No.
Unless you've got really, really deep pockets.
Yes.
Richard Houghton says, evening, sir. Paulie Gattari says, I quite like the first generation S40 in CD spec with the info centre.
It's in the Mitsubishi Charisma one.
Yep, it did have it. I think you quite like the V40 that I drove because that's actually I think it's a CD or something like that. Okay. That's got the info centre on it actually. That one.
Oh yeah. You had the 4-cylinder white blocks in there as well.
Yeah, it's 4-cylinder white block. Yeah,
I've done my research for yours.
You have, and also you could also get the interesting GDI engine from Mitsubishi Charisma in it,
which is not ULEZ.
You can't use E10 in it either.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah.
You can't use. I don't think it's optimally implant either. Why Volvo had two engines that had produced the same power They're both 122 horsepower. The only way you know in an advert if the engine's Mitsubishi one or the Volvo one is looking at the cubic capacity, or looking actually at a photograph of the engine.
Yeah,
because they're not the same.
And that was obviously Mitsubishi's input into the
yeah,
I suppose, I guess.
And Proton on the same platform as well. Of that, the Impian and Mitsubishi Space Star are all the same underneath. They're not bad. They're just not very memorable to drive.
No.
They're not memorable at all. Like they're one of the least memorable cars I've ever driven. Actually,
Yes.
it's nice and comfortable, but just there's nothing to say really.
Bit like a Nissan Juke. That was unmemorable. I drove one of those.
But there's the problems with those more than that. So
Yes.
it's the
I had to wear a paper bag whilst I was.
yes, you had to put a paper bag on your head with 2 eye holes.
Yes.
Yeah, of course you did so.
Yes.
Jason says a rabbit for coking up. Yeah, they sometimes the T5s can, I think. Oh gosh, Mr. Brook is on here, sir.
What?
We're talking about Mr. Brook's new purchase the other recently, weren't we? Mr. Brook from Beards and Bangers.
Oh right, yes. Hello,
Hello,
Mr. Brook.
we? Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hit Fine says Barry Crampton's Dive and Motor Trade is interesting. I keep being recommended those, but I haven't actually seen one of those yet. Mark Passad says, thank you for the insights. Really encouraging. Thought it might be a Volvo I could afford when the RAV4 lease expires in December. The thing about these VW P2s, this one I found out, are either like really bad, like some of the ones we found, or they're like 6-7 grand Japanese imports. There's very few that are in the middle now. There's very few of them. They're getting good ones are getting quite hard to find. Even mileage is irrelevant. Like it doesn't matter if it's done 50,000 miles or 150,000 miles. If you've got what you want is a nice water service history and working aircon, which will generally tell you the car being quite well looked after.
Yeah.
Like tatty interiors, rust isn't too much of a problem on the PCs. It's not a huge problem.
No.
But generally, sometimes I accidentally get rust. Apart from that, you don't really. Make sure someone's on the cam belt, and there's not that much else. You do get some electrical problems sometimes. The stereos on the facelift ones tend to fail for really weird reasons.
The HU850s, it's usually the amps and the CD changers are not very reliable. The actual head unit preamps not too bad. It's the amps underneath the seats.
Yeah.
The pre-facelift ones are much more reliable. The HU803s.
Yeah.
The Ford disc changer.
Absolutely. And a lot of the one I drove in 2022 was a 53 plate. It was 2003.
More reliable one.
Yeah, that was a manual. A lot of people prefer the automatics. Some people prefer the manuals. They're both out there. You can get the sort of low-powered 138 brake horsepower 2.4 as well.
Yeah.
That's apparently not too bad. I've never tried one. The 170 is what most people choose. And most people choose the 170 horsepower.
Yeah.
The 2 turbo is good. 2.5 turbo, 2.4 turbo. They're all good. You just really be a little bit careful. You want to buy an R or a T5. You just be a little bit careful.
Yes.
But there's there's if you want to spend money, like you can buy a Japanese spec one for like 12 grand if you really want to.
That's true.
But I'd say maybe between 3 and 6 is where you're looking for one of those, because the prices are going up and like good ones are quite hard to find now.
Yeah. We should do some music, so.
We should do so. Let's just answer this question about the Volkswagen 1.8 TSI engine.
Ooh.
So, this is an engine went into the Scirocco and it went into the Octavia, Lauren and Clement. We do like a nice Octavia, Lauren and Clement.
Yeah, we do. Yes, they recommended Felicia, Lauren and Clement.
They did, and they're really...
And a Superb.
They're very rare, yeah. The 1.8 TSI engine, which is also used in the Skoda Fabia VRS, it's an absolutely terrible engine. Like they're like the 1.2 Nissan turbo engines. They once those have gone, that's it. That's the end of the car.
Right.
A friend of mine, Lucy, looking at Scirocco, and I've done a Mark 3 Scirocco on my channel. It was a 1.4. It was immaculate one. It was a white car with like a biscuit leather interior.
Biscuit.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a DSG. Of course,
fair enough.
we don't tend to recommend DSGs.
No. Is that twin clutch?
Yeah. Doppelkupplung.
Pardon?
Doppelkupplung.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's what it is.
Sorry.
Doppelkupplungsgetrieb.
Is it?
Yeah. DSG. Doppelkupplungsgetrieb.
I know Latin.
Double clutch gearbox.
Okay.
That's what it means.
Okay.
So that's what DSG means.
Yeah.
The thing is, what you want if you want to buy a Scirocco or something like that, you want a manual.
Just
really.
manual.
Unless you've got guarantee that transport has been serviced at least every 40,000 miles.
Yeah. Most modern gearboxes are dual collection, aren't they? To be fair.
Exactly, yeah. But the 1.8, don't buy them.
Or a CVT. So
yeah, all the 1. There's a 1.4 122 horsepower. Don't buy that.
Is that a supercharged one?
Yeah, it's twin charge. Yeah.
TFSI.
Exactly, it's twin charge. You don't buy that.
Don't buy that.
You go for the 1.4 TSI, but can do well over 200,000 miles. We look after them.
Yeah.
With a manual gearbox, and just make sure you do the cam belt. Make sure you decoke the engine.
Yes.
And just keep looking after it, but it's okay.
There you go.
But you have to be very careful with the Volkswagen stuff like that, because I know I don't just be reliable. Of course, there's what's his name, Richard Fanders, who lives in Colchester, that's down the road. He's got his 2014 Seat Leon driving school car, which is a manual. He's looked after it forever. He's got like a list of what he's done, and it's got my engine in it. Like it's proof that if you look after that engine. It's okay, but he's fastidious about it, so that's why it's lasted so long. I think he's put a few clutches in it. It's a driving school car, but it's done like 210,000 miles, I think.
Not bad for a little petrol.
No, it's fine. I like the Mark III Leon. I think they're very good cars. You just gotta buy them really carefully. Right.
Right. I'm helping
anyway,
on piano, so come on. What are we doing first?
I think we're gonna do.
We're doing my hit.
We're gonna do your song, sir. We're going to do your song first, sir.
Right, okay.
Would you mind taking your seat at the piano, sir?
Yes, I will take my seat at the piano for sir.
You're going to need your lyrics, sir.
You're absolutely right. Yes.
Amazingly, because since Mr. Duncan has actually written the song, we did this earlier. We completely sort of forgot what some of the lyrics were, which is quite bad.
It's quite laughable. I mean, times I've actually heard the cursed thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're a channel member, sir.
Are we doing it with the new lyrics?
We are, sir.
We revised the lyrics.
We revised one of the lyrics slightly because we are now apparently a topical channel, sir.
Yes.
Apparently we are. So
it's quite dangerous to discuss politics, you know.
Unfortunately, the Mayor of London makes us do that on a frequent basis, sir. Because he's the one who decided that certain engines cannot be discussed. It wasn't me, sir. It wasn't you, sir.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Yes.
Exactly.
Where on earth has it gone? Oh, yeah, I found it.
At least the second song we're doing on a piece of paper, so we can't actually lose them.
So I just go. What would you do if you run completely out of cash? What would you do if you want a car to dash? Polish up the shoes, throw us something fun. We don't talk about diesels, we're living in Starburst time. Cruising down the boulevard, wheels creeping at night. Beige leather interior, looking chic alright. Money's still tight, but I'm feeling brand new. Living large tonight, no budget reviews. Close! What do you mean I'm not getting paid for this?
I can confirm Mr. Duncan was not paid to write that.
Absolutely not.
Did you enjoy that, viewers? No
silence.
Absolute utter silence. That was like Chaz and Dave. Right, so I think it's time for the second song.
Oh, we do. Right, okay.
I'm gonna go straight in, sir, because
yes, because
Dry Boat says on iTunes and Spotify when. Never. So this is a song by the Tin Cans. My friends wrote this in 2008. He wrote this, but the recording that's used on Sensible Secondhand Reviews and other things is from 2013. He wrote this of his band, and we had this issue right at the beginning of the channel's life where I wanted to use a piece of music called Latin Quarter by Laurie Johnson, which is a theme tune to a series from 1964 called Riviera Police. But I talked to some of my friends who are into that kind of old television stuff, and I said, are we going to be okay using this for Tweed Jacket Reviews? And they said no, because at the time Laurie Johnson was still alive.
Is that still recording?
Yeah, it's still going. It's still there, yeah.
Because I'm not on the sofa.
I have it paused, so I don't use data. So we had to find an alternative. So I rang up Lawrence and I said, look, you've got this album and it's got some songs on it. Can we use some of those? And he said, yeah, fine, you can use that. So you won't find any of the songs on YouTube, apart from one of them. You won't find them. The only way you find them on YouTube is because they're in my videos.
Yeah.
But so there's one of them. The one True Jacket is called Here, and this one is called Song for Humans. We're going to abridge this a bit because the full version of this is quite long. You don't normally hear the end bit because it's quite difficult for me to edit it properly. I'll do the beginning of it, but we'll give this a go. Ready, sir?
Yes. You can count it?
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Every blue day, every day with blue skies, and on every occasion that you do or don't smile. Every time you dance for joy or lust or anger, and every time you haven't got it right, you're one of us. Do you know that? Do you know that you are known? Do you know that? Do you know that you are known? It's important for you to realise that you have not gone unnoticed. Every person you ignore or like or dislike, they get sunshine, they get rained on just like you. Since there's grace to be had, we all need that. Let's keep humble. I wish I was humble, 'cause I'm really just like the rest of the human race. And do you know that? Do you know that you are known? Do you know that? Do you know that you are known? It's important for you to realise that you have not gone unnoticed. Do you know that? Do you know that you are known? Do you know that? Do you know that you are known? And it's important for you to realise that you have not gone unnoticed. Let me read this a couple times. To me and mine and all of yours, it means a lot that you were born. And to me and mine and all of yours, it means a lot that you were born. Me and mine and all of yours, it means a lot that you were born. To me and mine and all of yours, it means a lot that you were born.
We'll finish this.
Oh, we've got some comments about I'm singing, sir.
Oh no.
Right, let's have a look here.
That was completely
Oh, we've got some great ones here, sir.
completely unrehearsed.
We have to sort of go back a little bit. So Martin Badbook says sales rep comes Essex and Northumberland. It's remarkable how many Volvo 940 estates I see. They're actually really expensive 940s now. I've driven tons of them. I've driven like 4 on the channel. And
can you get into a 6-cylinder 940?
Well, no, it's 960.
Yeah, I thought that was the case.
Yeah. You could get a 4-cylinder 960 very, very early on.
Ah, okay.
It was a 2-litre red
Right.
block.
Yeah, so
they're very rare.
Mm-hmm.
But not the 940. That's also.
I think that's what confused me, because I
they
thought
are.
obviously the 4 is always a 4-cylinder and so on, and the 6.5 is also 5 door and all that.
So, Mr. Brook from Beards and Bangers, my new purchase is already at starter motor fail. That's a shame, sir. It looks very nice. I have seen a photograph of that. It looks very tasty.
Yes.
Glad to hear that you're already back in action next week.
Yes.
E39, peak BMW. Now, this is something that Simon from Not 66 Cars actually covered on his channel recently.
Yeah. Is that his car, an E39?
Yes, an E39.
That's quite a nice car, though.
It's very nice, but like there's so many terrible ones out there now.
Right, yeah.
I talked to this with the chap I saw yesterday, whose name we can't mention at the moment, but he's absolutely right. There's loads of really bad E39s out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's loads of really bad ones, and obviously a lot of them are rust. But apparently, HipFind says is the 39 peak BMW. I viewed a 525 Touring automatic and excited with zero rust. While taken care of, the owner decided to withdraw it from sale. Still looking. Yes, Simon took ages finding that car.
Mm-hmm.
Ages and ages.
It's a nice car. Is it a 4-cylinder or is it 6? So
All the patch. I think all the E39s are 6-cylinder. Even the 520 was.
Okay.
All of them are.
You couldn't get a 518.
I think you could in some places, but it's still a 6-cylinder. I think it's a 2-litre.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I can't. You couldn't. The basic one in this country was a 520.
Okay.
I know that.
I don't know about the BMW's views.
You're not very au fait with those, are you, sir?
Mr. Pryor likes his BMW.
He does. He has
Mr.
one.
Pryor likes his BMWs. I did
You're
once
not so fond of
drive. I did drive a friend's 325 with some sort of. It's a 6-cylinder that you don't like. But it went very, very nicely. I was very tempted to buy it, but they tend to, if it's a manual BMW, they tend to get thrashed.
They do,
That's
sir.
the problem.
But as all ones end up on the Auto Alex channel live, aren't they?
And have a triangular popcorn.
Triangular weird popcorn, but sweet and salty, sir.
Yeah. Air pops, there's no calories.
It's fun, isn't it?
Something like that.
Let's have a look here.
Yeah, they do tend to get thrashed, don't they?
Putting that is going back to the DSG gearbox. The 6-speed DSG wet clutch gearbox is very reliable if serviced. You have to service for every 40,000 miles. Mm-hmm. Even if VW say it's full of forget gearbox, it's not. A 7-speed dry clutch DSG is very problematic. I have driven one of those. Yeah, it's in a Skoda Octavia, that is owned by the chairman of Tesco Motor Enthusiasts. It's a 16, I think.
Tesco Motor Enthusiasts?
Not Tesco Motor Enthusiasts, but Tesco Motor Enthusiasts.
Oh, sorry, mate.
I'm sure motor enthusiasts go to Tesco. I went to Tesco today.
Where's your phone? Where's my telephone gone? Just in case I get a call from my Florida office.
Your Florida office, okay, so.
Yes.
It's a little business there.
Yes.
My uncle did say that actually, like, it wasn't as reliable. It's also got a 1-litre TSI engine in it, so it's a bit of a combination of that.
Doesn't have to pull any sort of skin off a rice pudding.
It's just very well, but he doesn't really drive very much. It's a very low mileage car, that one.
Is that 3-cylinder?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
As in the up and the me or whatever.
Yeah, that's on. Yeah. Those actually have a chain. The turbocharged ones are a wet belt.
Okay.
Which I'm a little bit funny about that. I'll only source those if it's the chain. I won't source the turbo ones.
Okay.
Because I'm funny about that. Drybook says on iTunes, Spotify when? Never.
I am on Spotify.
But
not with that.
You're not going to make a recording back by Spotify, are you, sir?
We'd have to be a bit more polished.
I think it'll be more polished.
We'd have to take out a bit about Keir Starmer.
Yeah, we might get in trouble for that, sir. It's too late now, isn't it?
You would.
Oh, yes, sir.
Because you provide that lyric.
So some people have been enjoying it. Ashad says, do you remember spotting a Blue Morris Minor 1000 Botley Grange in February? Yes, I do, actually. Badbook says that we're doing requests. Not today.
I don't mind.
Well, it depends how much time we have, sir. So, James 101 says, Reading Festival headline is confirmed. I don't think we'd be headlining at Reading Festival, sir.
I don't like going to it.
Have you ever been, sir?
Yes.
Did you enjoy it, sir?
No.
Was it really bad, sir?
Yes. The worst bit of it was driving through Slough on the way back. Sorry.
You remember John Betjeman in Slough, don't you, sir? Come friendly bombs fall on Slough, 'tis not fit for humans now. You know that one?
They built Citroens there as well.
Yes, and Fiat for a long time was based in Slough.
Mm-hmm.
I think they still are, actually, because a lot of the Fiat press cars are on R plates.
Okay.
Saab were based in freaking Reading for a while. They're on R plates all of the time.
I don't know much about it.
The main thing about Slough that's interesting is where they used to make Thunderbirds. I actually went to the road, it's called Sterling Avenue in Slough, where they had the 3 units that Century 21 Films or AP Films, the same company, used to make Thunderbirds. They had one and then another one. They had 3 in total. So Captain Scarlet, Joe 90, Secret Service, that kind of stuff. They're all made there.
Oh, really? Okay.
And when those units, the last unit was demolished in 2017, a friend of mine went there and we saw the last structure remaining from those units where they were completely flattened. That's the most exciting thing about Slough.
Okay.
Is connection with Jerry Anderson.
Okay.
That's about it.
Also, wasn't that was where the title sequence in The Office was filmed as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's slightly different now, like it is, but there's apart from that, I've been around Slough, and if you're a fan of the Professionals, which I am, there's quite a few locations in Slough. But so we went to last year on a walking tour of Slough, looking for locations in the Professionals and the Avengers. I'm sorry, but unless you're like I am, you're looking for locations used like Jeremy drives down this road in MGB, or like in episode 1 of the Professionals, there's an accident outside a pub.
Yes.
There's not anything rude much to say about Slough.
No.
If you go outside of Slough, the Burnham Beach is lovely, and there's Langley's nice. It just the actual town centre of Slough is it's not the best place I've ever been.
No.
Windsor's nice. That's not very far from Slough. Agent Barry says having major thunderstorms here. Oh right, so obviously in America it's a bit different, isn't it? What time? What time?
6 hours behind, so.
Oh, okay.
3 o'clock in the 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Someone else enjoyed the karaoke, which we were doing. What was karaoke?
Karaoke.
It's not karaoke at all. The music
You
was
weren't
played live.
following a red
No, we
red
were
ball.
not. We were using pieces of paper.
Yes.
And a phone.
Did we get permission from Lawrence? What's his Lawrence Wellenbow? What was his name?
No, Lawrence Callahan.
Sorry. Did we get permission?
I think we're all right. One thing you won't find on that any of them come up with copyright on YouTube, because I'm the only person who's actually put that on there. So there are no copyright matches on YouTube, which is good.
That's good.
If you are thinking,
hopefully you saw it, because I think we did it fair justice there.
I think we did. So we put some gusto.
We moved it down to 6 semiphones for our singing ranges.
We did, because like if you try to do it like Lawrence does, he's got a much better voice than I have, and it's a bit more difficult to sing.
I wouldn't say that. It's a higher voice.
It is.
We moved it down to F sharp minor. Moved it from F sharp minor to C minor.
It's a bit easier to sing like that, isn't it?
Yes.
A bit easier.
Yes. Transpose it.
And then every reader, Tin Can song, JC said really like it.
It's a really nice song. You should play different bits of it.
I should, but it's just such a pain to edit it like that. It's just a bit of.
Why don't you just chop up the song and then use it? Anyway,
I could.
Not something for the live stream.
I could do, but I.
Sorry.
Okay. Mark from Bad Books enjoyed it. Yeah, Alex Assets enjoyed it. Simone Hood on Classics.
Did she enjoy it?
Doesn't say if she enjoys it.
No.
Didn't say. Maybe not.
Okay. He has no opinion.
So. She wasn't such a bit surprised. Well, that's fine. So Simon from Smashing Finish says, "What's all this?" I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's all very interesting.
We've completely diverted off topics that we were supposed to be
Well,
doing.
it doesn't matter, so does it really?
We can still film.
We can still go. We can still sort of go in and
yes,
sort of talk about the special editions. So
yes.
We've got to go through some comments first, though. So
right, crack on.
Dry Boat says hinge and bracket vehicle consulting.
What?
I don't know what that means, sir.
Mr. Garatieri has used the words that
yes, I know, sir. We have to warn him about that, because we don't talk about those on this channel, sir. As you know, don't talk about things like that. Simone says, my caliper are alive today, Alex. It's a mysterious thing to say.
Code. Definitely code.
James 101 says, Lloyd Aid. I don't think we're going to be doing that. I'd have to sing that.
It sounds like
Do you know it's something song? Won't do that.
Yeah.
Simon from Matchmaking Business says, greetings. Puddy Galtieri says, we can get an i40 with a certain engine. We don't talk about that. Simon says, what a weird time to join in line. Which one did you sing again? What
was that?
have we?
Who just said about the i40?
No, the 940.
Oh, the 940.
Yeah, we don't talk about that, sir.
Oh, no,
so Simon says,
nice engine, sir.
what a weird time to join in live. No context sing along. I did say on a post I've done, we're going to have a live performance.
You put two posts on.
I did, sir. So we go.
In fact, I rambled a little bit as well.
You did.
In response to Mr. Someone.
You did, sir. Indeed, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Agent Barry says, sir, what's your opinion on Barbara Broccoli selling James Bond to Amazon? I don't know if I have an opinion about that yet, sir.
No, they are supposed to be bringing out a film, though, aren't they?
Yeah, loads of stuff.
At first, they were going to be talking about going on about offshoots, talking about Miss Moneypenny and all the rest.
Oh, people have been talking about doing that since the 1960s. I
mean, they've got the budget. I mean, hopefully they'll do a nice job of it.
I gather the producers they want to use are very experienced and everything like that. I think we don't know.
No.
I think it's far too early to sort of say whether it's going to be good or bad because these things don't exist yet.
No.
I think you have to be given a fair chance.
I mean, it's been a long time since No
2021.
Time to Die.
That film was ready for release in late 2019, I think.
It was, yeah. This is actually the longest period of time, apart from licensed. Is this how we've kind of neatly gone off the subject?
We're doing quite well.
We're doing quite good, off on a lovely tangent.
Yeah, we're doing reasonably well.
Thank you very much.
Yes. All right, here we go.
Yes, because between License to Kill and Goldeneye, there's also 6 years, wasn't it? So.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Simon Franklin says, "I'm hungry." As that is all as you were. Yes, that's why we have some snacks. You want some more snacks, sir?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Have a snack, sir.
Help yourself to a lager, sir.
So I'm driving, so I can't have any lager. I might help myself to what's what I've got there? A milky drink, sir, which I've got there. I might help something about them, is that?
Milky drink?
A milky drink, sir. Cookie dough flavour.
Is it milk?
Yes, sir. Flavoured milk, sir.
So it is literally just milk?
Flavoured, sir.
Cow juice?
Yes, sir.
Flavoured cow juice?
Yes, sir. Jason's ran over the song. More. Alex has said more singing. I don't know what song we can have. Sir. We don't want to get like in trouble with the copyright theory, do we, sir? I can sing from Russia with Love. Ooh, okay. I'm quite good at singing that. My lady wife likes me singing that.
Mm-hmm.
JC used to make Mars bars. Just in Slab. That's right. The guy from City Alpha 5. Now, Agent Barry's quite au fait with the old ITC series and Jerry Anderson stuff. UFO was my favourite Anderson series. Yeah, UFO is actually quite good. It's quite humorless and a bit dry, but I quite like it. Yeah, and Gabrielle Drake in a silver miniskirt with a purple wig for no reason. She wears a purple wig.
Who's this?
Gabrielle Drake in UFO.
Okay.
You've probably never seen that, have you?
No.
Okay, sorry.
Has it got any Crown Victorias in it?
No, it's made in 1969-70, so that's a no then.
No.
But basically it's a series set in 1980, but it was filmed 69-70, and they think that by 1980 we're going to be driving on the right hand side of the road.
Oh, okay.
So it's like there's like a what happened to the future type thing, and there were two futuristic-looking cars, both based on Ford Zodiac chassis.
Okay.
In that, and they're really weird. I've seen one of them in real life. It exists. I've actually seen it.
Oh, okay.
And there's a Jeep which was based on, I think, a BMC 1800, which I've also seen in that series as well. So I've seen. Okay. That's the level of sort of sadness that we have, sir.
It's not sadness. It's just enthusiasm.
Exactly.
Everyone's interested in their own things.
It's actually as a joke here. Joe 90 was a lie. He was nowhere near 90. He was about 14. He's actually supposed to be about 10, I think, in that. The chap who played him was, I can't remember his name, the actor now, Len something. He was about, I think, 16. Smashing Pistons asks Alex asks if Arlo joined him with the song. I don't think he probably did.
Who?
Arlo is Alex's little friend.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he's a little ginger little friend.
I thought Roger might join him.
Roger didn't join in. Where is Roger? He's over there. Roger's just over there.
Is he a llama or a camel?
He's an alpaca.
Of course he is.
Yeah, he gets a bit sad if people call him a camel. He gets a bit sad about that.
Does he get the hump?
He doesn't have a hump, sir.
It's a camel joke, sir.
I know, sir. It's terrible.
Did you get?
That guy, CF 5 Agent Barry. I always thought Space in 1999 was awful. I've never really got into that. I prefer UFO. I don't. I think the problem with Space 1999 is the very, very kind of haunted face that Barbara Bain has, and she's generally quite a good actress, but I'm just not sure she's great in that. I think really Martin Landau and Barbara Bain were in that because they were American stars, and Lou Grade, who ran ITC, thought that they would be successful.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway. Actually, yes, I'm in the shower. We will skip over that.
What?
I know. Simon Russian Pistons says the bathroom will add that thick, rich reverb. And Mark from Bad Book says, we don't talk about this we don't talk about it on this channel, or we don't. But Alex says it's not a diesel shower. Definitely don't talk about that. Boarding out says wrong live stream. JC says Jade Bond. And Simon says Brooke Bond.
Oh no, got play on words.
Oh my gosh, sir.
Mr. Pryor, where are you?
It's getting crazy down here, sir.
What's going on? Usually
what's going on, Roger?
Usually live streams
what's going on, Roger?
Not quite as lively as
it is lively, it's just gone strange.
That's very, very strange.
You have some of those then, Roger. Just sit there a bit. So,
I think he needs a bit.
Oh no, he's alright. Okay.
I'm trying to find this music.
Paulie Galtieri says Miss Lloyd does an excellent Roger Moore impression from Due to a Kill. It's not Roger Moore, it's one of stunt double from Due to a Kill.
Oh.
But it's when Mr. Manning suggests that I get in the back of cars.
So what point of View to a Kill is his stunt double messing about?
There's quite a few.
I know that film quite well.
Yeah, there's quite a few points where he's making those noises.
With Jenny Flex.
Yeah, Jenny Flex. So also,
when he asks her if she wants an early morning ride.
Is it Alison Doody or something like that? I think she was 19 when she filmed that.
She looks older than that. She had the Renault Fuego.
Yeah, she's a Fuego. I think she was 19.
We've gone on to James Bond cars, which is fantastic.
Which is good. Yeah, Fuego, yeah.
Yes. What's your favourite car in that film, sir?
Oh, gosh, what, in View to a Kill?
Yes.
I quite like the Renault 11, but it gets sort of disintegrated.
Is it a GTX?
GTL, I think? Or is it GTX? It's the one with the voice synthesizer in it.
Okay.
I actually have seen that car in real life. It was there's a Bond Cars museum which used to be Covent Garden, and they had the actual. It was actually there. Obviously, I think they used several of them because Renault. I think they've actually seen filmed at Renault facility in Swindon at one point. I think they used part of it for. I can't remember what it was. I forget now, but they used part of it for the film, and of course, the Fuego and the 11 were in.
Apparently
yes.
Was it the Rolls Royce or the Bentley they put that Grace Jones pushed into the right lane?
Yeah, it was a Bentley with Reed badges on it.
Owned by Albert Broccoli.
Yeah, well, not the one they pushed in, but the actual one you see, which was I think CUB1. It was Colby Broccoli's car. It was his car. Yeah.
Yes.
It's just.
I quite like that film. It's alright.
Yeah. Mr. Coleman quite likes it as well. He's quite fond of it.
Great theme tune.
It is. It's superb by
Duran.
Simon Le Bon.
Yes.
Simone asked, did you watch Life on Mars, Ashes to Ashes? Which do you prefer? I don't know. I kind of, in some ways, I like both of them. The first one's kind of like watching the Sweeney, but with a sort of Mancunian bend to it.
Yes.
And then the second one's a bit like watching The Professionals, but not. Also kind of like Dempsey and Makepeace. I don't know, I sort of prefer both of them.
What was the one they remade in, was it the 2000s? Was that one of
those? They did an American version of Life on Mars. I've never seen that.
Oh, okay.
So we have, Barry says, the UFO moon base turned up in episodes of Doctor Who. Yeah, it probably did. Frazzle Face says, you had an opportunity to wear a wig the other day, which is true. I had the opportunity to wear a wig, and I turned it down.
What do you mean?
You know the V40, sir?
Oh, of course.
I did not wear the wig.
No, I was very disappointed you didn't do that.
I did not, sir.
Some sort of sense of humility. Why not?
We dressed up for the channel. We do that like Christmas special. We dressed up for Christmas special, sir.
We did.
We did, but we don't normally do that, sir.
Okay.
Simon Fighting Piston says, was Terrorhawks a Jerry Anderson one? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was Jerry Anderson, Christopher Burr in 1982. It's very weird, Terrorhawks. It's with like rubber puppets. Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't. Oh, yeah, it does actually recline.
My sofa's just moved.
Yes, only that side does recline.
All right, then, sir.
Yes.
But Mark Bowers want to go back to Volvos. My uncle had a June 1997 P-Reg 942.3 LPT, Tools Under Estate. Yeah, the ones at the end, they were the 940 Celebration and the Torslander. Torslander was the lowest spec one.
That's it.
And most of them at the end have a 2.3 low pressure turbo.
I think that's the one that Jeremy Clarkson also bought. Do you remember when they were doing that episode of Top Gear?
Yeah, I think it was a Torslander.
When they were buying cars for teenagers.
And he smashed the rear tailgate.
Yes. And then James May had the Golf and Richard had the
S Coupe, yeah.
S Coupe.
Sorry, S Coupe.
Yes.
And the later one, it was a similar challenge when they had the Nova with the hazard light switch.
Yes.
I spoke to Mr. Coleman about that. It's absolutely true.
Yes.
It's totally true. It's only on ones after 1990 with fuel injection.
Yeah.
It's only those. It's because some of the other ones did have it. Like a lot by 1992, a lot of the Novas had cats and single point injection.
Yeah.
So you can use it on some of the lower parts, not just for GSI.
Yes.
But yeah, it's quite funny. But yeah, you can do that.
Really.
Yeah. Don't let anybody go near your Nova or put a stone lock on it. They don't.
No. And then was there an XR2i? Was it an RS89?
Yeah,
an
I think it was an XR2i.
And then what did James May have?
I can't really. It wasn't another Golf, was it? I don't remember now.
No. Answer in the comment section.
Yeah, answer in the comment section below. Alex says, Roger, hello, Roger. Benjamin Barry says, Terrahawks are Derry Anderson. Yes, probably on the set. Yeah, it was a bit different. It wasn't the Super Mario Nation where we were up in the gallery. They were controlled from underneath the set. It was a bit different. Sean Cook says, I'm sorry, late chap, so don't worry about it, sir. Pulling out, sorry, Roger Moore was 58 during View to a Kill. Yes, he was, because he's born in 1927.
Really?
Yep. So some of the filming he would in 57, because some of it was filmed in 84.
He didn't actually want to do that one, did he?
He was, after, like, Moonraker, he did the films on a case by, not case by case, but a film by film basis. There wasn't, like, a contract. I think he was contracted for 4 films. He did the 4, and then they just negotiated with him each time. So he was originally going to leave after Moonraker. That's why there's that scene at the beginning of Fewer Eyes Only, where he goes to the graveyard with Tracy Bond's grave, because originally it was supposed to be Michael Billington, who was in UFO. There we go. There's the link. It's supposed to be Michael Billington, or Lewis Collins was also mooted to do it. Lewis Collins ended up doing Who Dares Wins, which was like a driver of the Bond in 1982. If you've seen that, it's he has a Lotus Elite, I think it is.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I think it's either an Eclat or an Elite. I can't remember. No, it's an Eclat. Sorry, it's an Eclat. He's got one of those in it. And that is an interesting film, but unfortunately Lewis Collins never got to play Bond. He ended up in really weird Italian films like Codename Wild Goose and things like that, which no one's ever seen.
Yes.
So it's a shame, really. Which program is? Oh yes, he's talking about Terrahawks here. Yeah, remembers Terrahawks. It's the same year I was born, 1982. Treasure says, "What is Roger?" Roger's right here. He's sitting just here. Agent Barry says Roger was older than Tyler Roberts' mother and caused him to retire from the role. Yeah, I think a lot of people just sort of thought after View to a Kill that he kind of shouldn't really be sort of making any more Bond films. Paulie Gautieri says Rover 600 has done it for me, Ashes to Ashes. Yeah, apparently they were filming it on like a Sunday in the City of London, and they had set the shot up, and they just didn't have time to move the car out of the way. It came in between the fact of setting the shot up and actually filming it, so they just elected to film it with a 600 sitting there rather than actually get the person to move it out of the way. They just went and did a take. Faisal Face says reclining leather seats in the living room. Yes, indeed, reclining seats.
It's not beige leather.
No. Who Classic. Simone says my Rover 75 is fixed.
Oh.
That's good, Simone. It's a shame we can't.
What engine is that one?
We can't talk about it, sir.
Oh, not that one.
Unfortunately, not, sir. Sean Cook
it's
says.
good news though. Well done.
Sean Cook says enjoying some tribute pale ale. We got some.
It was an amber hobgoblin.
Right, excellent, sir.
You don't like ale, do you, sir?
I don't mind it. It's just I'm driving, so I'm not gonna.
Oh, I thought you didn't like ale. That's
no.
I got you the Corona.
Sometimes I have it. I'm not the biggest fan of ale, so I tend to have quite a little lager. I've spent so much time over in the continent that sort of don't really drink ale.
Drivers don't drink lager. They drink ale proper.
I don't know about us. So Simon says, "Smashing Pistons." See you later. See you later, sir. Alex says goodbye to Simon. Psycho63 says both Manor Park Classics and Anglia Car Auctions on YouTube Live tomorrow. We do have that epic video, don't we? It was a 38-minute long video. We go through all the auction prices, which will be interesting. JC says Michael Billington was going to be in Eden Line. Yes, he was. I've never seen that. Simone says that Shane Lewis Collins never played Bond. It is a shame that he never played Bond. Oh gosh, here we go. The Renault 5 that Lewis Collins has in Who Dares Wins was his own car. I think he does briefly drive a Renault 5. I thought he was a Lotus in that.
Renault 5 and Never Say Never Again.
No.
Or was that 205?
It wasn't Renault 5, it was Renault 5 Turbo.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Barbara Carrera drives that, not Sean Connery, Barbara Carrera.
Oh, yeah.
He drives a motorcycle.
Yes, that's right.
The only... Gosh, Never Say Never Again,
I do have that on Blu-ray.
Yeah. I don't actually know if it's any good or not. I still sort of in two minds about it. I've seen it a load of times, I just can't make my mind up about it. Because
it's a remake of Thunderball, isn't it?
It is. In the sort of realm of Bondom,
yes,
it's not very well regarded generally.
Yes.
At the time, it wasn't actually that badly received.
No.
It's one of these films where the production of the film is far more interesting than what's on screen. And Casino Royale from '67 is even more like that.
Okay.
That is... You ever seen that?
No, I haven't actually.
It is... You look it up, but there's several videos online talking about production of Casino Royale from '67. It's one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen.
Okay.
Never Say Never Again is the same. It's the troubled history of Kevin McClory trying to get his way.
Yes.
And he almost got his way again.
Spectre, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, he almost got his way several times. First in '75, then in Never Say Never Again, and then again like Warhead 2000. He kept trying to remake the same thing.
Yes, because they hinted at Spectre and Blofeld, didn't they? In Fewer Eyes Only.
Yeah, but they just a bald man with no name.
Yeah.
That's
it.
They
sort of hinted at it.
They obviously, but they dumped him down the chimney at what's the name? The place in London called? Oh gosh, I forgot what it's called. Beckton Gasworks.
And then Blofeld offers Bond. What is it?
A delicatessen in stainless steel. Yeah. I buy you a delicatessen in stainless steel. I forget the name of the actor who.
It's very good. Yeah.
It's I think it's John Hollis who plays.
Does that mean something?
John Hollis plays the chap in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the name of the chap who did the voice. Is it Robert Reetey? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Someone to tell me. Right, here we go. So, the Renault 5. Yeah, he does drive a Renault 5. He also drives a Lotus in that. And then we've got Sean Cook says Lewis Collins drove a very exotic Lotus Esprit Cuckoo Waltz with registration Gav. Be a very early one then, though. I think Cuckoo Waltz was 70s. I can't remember now. This is an interesting question. What is the strangest car you've ever been contracted to locate? Yeah, there's no question about that. The Toyota Alphard.
Oh.
Which was it was a camper van.
Oh.
It was a camper van conversion of
an import, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. I didn't know anything about them, but basically it was a big hybrid thing, and the clients I had said we want something that will go into the ultra emission zone. And of course, like all the other stuff, we looked at Mazda Bongo, which is the weirdest thing to service because the engine's like underneath one of the seats. Yeah, one of those. They're quite.
Ford Friendly, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly the same. Yeah, Ford Frida. And Bongo Friendly. It's very confusing. My gosh, those things suffer from absolutely terrible rust, don't they? Yeah. Like the worst.
So it's an Alphard, is it a V6?
No, it's a 2.5 hybrid. I think it's a similar underneath to a Camry. Okay. An Alphard. It's a 2003. Yeah, I mean, it was the Toyota hybrid engines are very, very dependable indeed. I didn't know enough about it. We managed to sort of make everything work. Like here's where the water goes in, and this is where you put the power in, and this is how you operate the roof. Because it had one of his high top bits on it, and had a bed in the back and made sure it worked and that sort of stuff. And it was all right to drive. But the strangest thing was it had this really weird colour screen in the middle with a Japanese sat nav in it. So I think it's the Alphard. I think really.
Yes, that's right.
So Barry says Sean Connery had to rub the production because he was because the producer run production. Sorry, because the producer out of his depth. Oh, what was the name of the producer? I completely forgot the name of the producer now on that film. It wasn't Charles Feldman who was Casino Royale. Who was it? Jack Schwartzman. I think Jack Schwartzman. He called the film Mickey Mouse outfit. But I think there's a lot of people quite experienced on that because Irving Kershner directed The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
David Tomlin, who was the assistant director, had been working with Prisoner. They filmed it at Elstree. A lot of the people on Indiana Jones worked on that film.
Okay.
So I don't know why it was so sort of bad, but it's not as good as Octopussy, I don't think.
No, okay.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, okay. I don't mind Octopussy, so.
Harry Blinkhorn says, I currently have a Seat Altea 1.4 TSI on a 61 plate, genuine 66,000 miles. I've not seen a Seat Altea XL for some time.
No, I haven't. They're kind of sort of, slightly raised up Leons, aren't they?
There's like there was sort of trio. There was the Leon, the Altea, and the Toledo. Toledo is very rare.
Very rare.
The Toledo was so unsuccessful. It made it for 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
They dropped it and replaced it with the Exeo, which is a rebadged Audi A4. It didn't work out very well for them with that.
No.
Mark Badbook says, I went an evening with Sir Roger in Norwich in 2013. He was all the walk the stick, but very sharp in areas. The last thing that he did was the pilot for the Saint film, which was released about 2017, 2018.
Okay.
Which also has Ian Ogilvy in it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did a watch along of that with like a live stream with Ian Ogilvy. He's about 80 now. He's very funny, Ian Ogilvy. He's a nice man actually.
So did he help to promote? Because obviously the C70 was in the Volvo C70 was in the same film, wasn't it? So did he ever help to promote that?
The C70 only appears like right at the end of the film. It's not in a lot of the film. It's oh gosh, I think the colour Garnet Red it's Garnet Red. It's a very early one. That one. Roger Moore's voice appears in the film or radio in the car.
Oh, okay.
Ian Ogilvy's not in that Valkyrie one. The Saint pilot was in like 2017. The thing is, I don't know why it didn't get picked up. It's a lot better than the Charlie's Angels remake things. Like there's been several Charlie's Angels attempts, and it was 2 completely different TV series that were made in the 2010s, and they're both quite bad.
Yes.
That Saint pilot's a lot better than that.
Yes.
Obviously, for someone like me who's into the original Saint from the 60s and Return of the Saint, it worked surprisingly well. I thought it was good. To see like both Roger Moore and Ian Ogilvy in it, and Ian Ogilvy's part was expanded when they made the film long, because it was originally just like episode 1 of the series, and so later on they added some more scenes and they made Ian Ogilvy's role a bit bigger.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't remember how you can get hold of it now. It's an interesting thing. Right. Agent Barry said, I saw Sir Roger in York in 2014. He was a lovely man.
Oh, yeah, apparently he was a really nice guy, actually, yeah.
Everything I've ever heard about Roger Moore was amazing. One thing you must never do is watch the film Bullseye with Michael Caine and Roger Moore from 1990.
Okay. Right.
Most interesting thing about film was part of it was filmed in the Watercress Line, which is in Hampshire.
Right. Okay.
But do not. It's a terrible film.
Okay.
It's absolutely terrible. It's a disgrace to everybody involved.
Right.
I sat through the whole thing, and that is about an hour and a half of my life I will never get back.
Oh, dear.
Do not watch that film.
That's a shame.
Don't watch it.
Yeah.
It is a shame. I think he's attempting re-entry, sir. It's from Moonraker.
It is.
It's the end of Moonraker, yeah.
It is.
Mark Vabrix talks about Roger Moore, shook his hand, and there's a documentary that came out of Roger Moore quite recently. I watched it over sort of the Christmas period. It's a very, very interesting thing where Steve Coogan narrates it as if he's Roger Moore. It's quite interesting, yeah.
Yes.
It's an interesting thing.
Yeah, he's into Bond, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's into Bond. Stop getting Bond wrong! Yes. My lady wife thinks Steve Coogan is the funniest man in the world.
He is very funny.
We watched that Alan Partridge Alpha Papa recently, and I could not stop laughing. It was so dreadfully embarrassing.
I prefer the Armando Iannucci ones rather than the later ones, but yeah, I do have it. So.
Oh, okay. There's a.
It's quite funny with the sort of the Kia Optima with all the.
I know
Alan Partridge driver's car. So I know it's beautifully placed, and then you've got the opening tune by Rochford, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rochford.
It's just
Cuddly Toy. Yeah,
the whole thing is just amazing. The best bit is when you keep thinking he's actually solved the situation, but then he just like at one point he loses his trousers and stuff like that. It just all sort of goes quite wrong.
Yes.
Best Bond quips. I don't know who. Okay. Oh yes, it's got this is Goldfinger. It's right at the beginning at the Fontainebleau Hotel. Which Sean wasn't there, but Cease Linder was there. So he's like, Dick, say goodbye to Felix, man talk, and he slaps on the bottom.
Yes.
It's not very liberated, sir, is it?
No, I
really.
quite like one of Roger Moore's ad libs in the end of Octopussy. No, it's in the middle of Octopussy.
Yeah.
Where he's at Matey's hotel.
Yeah.
And is that Indian chap?
VJ.
That's it.
VJ, yeah.
And he asks VJ if he wants a nightcap, which it's actually not it's not a proper line. It's actually an ad lib.
Yeah.
If you watch the extras, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's Roger Moore. He's a very, very, very fine actor. Very, very funny.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Paulie Otomi says the Aston Martin V8 Volante in Living Daylights was absolutely stunning. Yeah, it's two different cars. I think that was two different cars. One of them was a convertible. One was a coupe.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favourite Aston Martins actually.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good film.
Yeah.
I had a few optional extras installed.
Yes.
He's so cold when he says that way. He says it so coldly.
Yes.
And then Barry says that car turns up in No Time to Die. Yeah, it does. Absolutely, it turns up in No Time to Die.
It does. There's some nice cars in No Time to Die.
Yeah,
actually. Some quite varied actually.
I haven't seen it in a while because I just don't like the ending.
Well,
I really don't like the ending.
It is. I quite like the fact they put Lance Tamer in it.
Lance Tamer, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
It's in that.
Yes.
Mr. Coleman noticed that.
Yes. I mean, horrendously ugly car. The back end's not too bad, I suppose, but it's just. Yeah. And was there in the Maserati in there as well?
There might be. I can't remember. I've only seen it once. I saw it in the cinema with my lady wife, and I got sort of upset about it. Then JC says you shouldn't have killed Tibbet.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and then what's it say? Yes, everyone loves the Aston Martin V8 Volante.
Yes.
He says, I upgraded my Bongo last year. I was looking at the Velfire version of the Alphard, but opted for an L Grand instead because the middle seats swivel round. Yeah, that's right. You can't swivel seats in an Alphard. Right. So we're going back now to 1962. Agent Barry says the Saints car is supposed to be an E-Type, but Jaguar refused to give IC any cars. Yeah, Johnny Goodman, I think, rang them up. He was a production assistant on tons and tons of ITC things, the Baron, the Champions, the Saint. Worked with a chap called Monty Berman, who was on sort of all of those. He rang him up and said, Jaguar, would you lend us a car? Because he thought it was a big car in '62, just been launched the year before. And chap at Jaguar said, the PR said, my dear boy, we could sell every one of these cars we want to. And they offered him a chance to buy an E-Type at full price.
Oh, right.
So we went to Volvo, who obviously had launched the P1800 the year before, but was made in Jensen factory in West Bromwich, and they said, no, we're fine, we'll give you a car, we'll give you several of them. And they used loads of them. Obviously the Swedish built ones were much better quality than the Jensen built ones. They actually ended the contract early on the P1800 because Jensen was so bad at making it. Yeah. A lot of people have this impression that the car was called a P1800 all the way through. It wasn't. It was called the 1800S after 1963, and then just the E, and then the ES was the last one. Like the 480 type one. Something says good vig but being thirsty. Yeah, I reckon those big people carriers are thirsty. And then
most of them petrol as well, aren't they?
People, he says, Kiki British End Up, yes, End of Spy, You Love Me.
Great film.
And then we have, what have we got? I'm aiming at precisely your groin, but it's in Man with a Golden Gun. That's 30 Main. It's 30 Main in Man with a Golden Gun.
Yes.
So far, I can't think it's called Lazar. It's Lazar.
That's it, Lazar.
Yeah, he's 30. I think he's called 30 Main.
Yeah, the chap who actually makes the gold. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
The bullets, isn't it? Yeah.
That's right. Chase, what I want to say, I always drove a V8 Land Rover in Living Daylights. Is it a V8, the one in the chase? I thought it was a normal one.
When in the film?
It's in Gibraltar at the beginning.
That's not a V8. That's a Series 3. That's just not a 4-cylinder one. 2.2.
They put a V8 in it. I don't know. It sounds like a normal. I've driven a car with that engine, 2.25. And I think I don't know.
It doesn't sound like a V8. It doesn't have any fancy wheels or anything.
You know the chap who says, "Hold on, you're dead."
That's you're saying.
Yeah. I've met him several times. He's called Paul Weston. He's He's a really nice man. He's about 80 now.
Yes.
And he's the chap who gets set on fire with tanker chase at the end of License to Kill.
Oh.
That's Paul Weston.
Oh, really?
He almost suffocated doing it as well.
Yeah, I bet he did, yeah.
He almost suffocated as well. He's a
yeah.
really interesting man. I've met him several times.
Yes.
I actually ran into him at a Bond concert in Bournemouth last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I met him before that.
Oh,
He's
cool.
really interesting. He worked on a lot of the old series. He started on like the Saint and the Avengers in the 60s.
Yes.
And he actually had a role as a chauffeur inspector that was cut from the film.
Oh, okay.
So he worked on tons of stuff.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, he's very interesting, Paul Weston. And he's still like doing stunts now. He's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, he's 80.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a really nice man, Paul Weston.
Yes.
But yeah, he's a chap. He's like, oh, Don, you're dead.
That's it.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's him. He gets asked to do that in public all the time. Actually, I don't know why it didn't annoy him. It annoyed me if he did that.
Yeah.
He says Timothy Dalton was a brilliant Bond. He should have done Goldeneye. He was going to do Property of a Lady in 1992.
Yeah.
But there was some kind of legal problems with MGM at the time. I forget exactly why. There's been so much rubbish like that going on that the film couldn't be made. Timothy Dalton was contracted for 3. And he was down to do it, but his contract ended before they made the film. So it never happened. But he would have been good doing that.
I think so.
Cook says the Goldfinger Rolls Royce. Yeah, I think it's a Phantom 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
Goldfinger.
That's not the same one that's then brought back in Spectre, is it?
No,
that's
that's a
48.
that's a Silver Wraith, I think. It's a later one.
Yeah.
So
Fiora's only 2 CVs. That's one of the special edition.
yeah, they made a GS engine in that because it was so slow.
Yeah, it's the 4-cylinder.
And I've seen one of the very first cars that I ever saw in Shambolic Shuffle number 1.
Yes.
Number 1 Shambolic Shuffle.
Yes.
Which was at the what's it called, the London Classic Car Show in 2019.
Right.
Was a 2 CV Donald special edition. That's the thumbnail for it. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. Literally, Shambolic Shuffles came about because my lady wife was saying you need some more content. Like, can you make a video of London Classic Car Shows? I don't know, it'd be rubbish. And she said, why don't you just try? Okay, just try for me, just try. And so I got my phone out and I walked around not knowing how to edit. And literally I made this like 20-minute long video of the London Classic Car Show. And for my channel, I think I got 800 views on it. Okay. I couldn't believe it. Like I was getting like 30 views a video at the time. I don't even think I even had 100 subscribers.
Wow.
This is before I even met Ed Seabrook and Mr. Coleman. This is before that. This is like the early days of the channel. And so I saw it. It was very of a thumbnail. I actually made sure we got that. And I think that might have helped actually, that 2CV. So I'm very happy with that.
It was actually a proper special edition.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's a genuine one from 1981.
So on the stickers.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It didn't have the GS engine. It was, I think, just a 602.
Yeah.
Living Daylight's Larder cop car. Yeah.
That's it.
Below 750i from. Gosh, was it Someone Never Dies? That's it. Yeah.
He calls it a 750, though, doesn't he? Desmond Gwen.
He does, but he's good.
And isn't it the 750 is a V8, isn't it?
It's a V12. Is it 12?
So 750 should be a V12, but they actually put a V8 in it.
Yeah, I think they put a Chevy engine in it or something.
Yeah, they did.
A lot of stunt cars do tend to use Chevy engines in them.
Or maybe there's more room to put stuff underneath.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like but yeah, it's not the right engine.
And then we got Timothy Dalton was underrated, says JC. Probably, yeah, he should do another film. I like Living Daylights very much.
Yeah, it's nice.
The very problem with License to Kill is his hairstyle. It's not very good. Living Daylights' hairstyle's better.
I've never paid attention to this.
Alright, okay, well, never mind.
I'm too busy looking at the cars and the bongos.
Yes, sir, I gather you enjoy the ladies, sir.
Go live.
I know, sir, but that's alright.
Can we make crack on?
Next comment. What you're going to do is, can you do, oh, my car! Oh, my car! Mr. Coleman and I, when we had a Renault 11, every time we ever saw it, we had to go, oh, my car! Oh.
Very good.
Such a terrible acting job.
Very good.
Why they had to do that, I don't know.
Very good.
Oh yeah, the Toyota 2000 GT from They Only Live Twice.
Yes, because Sean Connery is so tall, they had to chop it off, didn't they? So
that's a great
that's the
car.
only one only. Yeah.
I think I've only ever seen one of those once in my life.
Yeah.
Like they were basically like an E-Type, but a little bit smaller.
That's it.
So
is that 6-cylinder then?
I can't remember now. They're so rare. And then of course you have all this equipment in it. But the funny thing is, like they had to, some of the in the studio they had to use a Triumph to use some of the studio shots, like a TR4 or something, because they didn't. I think they got the car over, but then they had to do some reshoots and they couldn't have it anymore, so they had to use a Triumph TR4, which was not the same. It's like the bit where there's the secrets in the plane where he gets kidnapped to put in the plane, and it's quite obvious that the plane's being filmed over the home counties, and when it lands on this like impromptu runway, that's like at the back of the Pinewood.
Yes.
So it wasn't all filmed in Japan, which is a shame, but never mind. No. Chase, one end of the runway. What's I don't know what that one is. Under the end of the runway in Living Daylights. I can't remember. A runway would be. Oh, that would be in the secrets where they get the. Is it Hercules in that film? The big plane.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's a Hercules, isn't it? With the back that comes down.
That's it.
Yes, I think that's.
Yeah, with that blonde cellist.
Yeah, Marianne Darbo is the name of the lady. Yeah.
There's no end to your sort of knowledge of Bond.
You. Yes, sir. Unfortunately. And then we can. Oh my gosh, Mr. Harwood is in online. Rover Joe. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Just finished doing some work to my Civic. Well, we've got another MB Civic coming up, sir, on the channel, which is a 1.4, which is not the one you've got, which is got a 1.8 VTI, which is like the best of the MB Civics ever. He's actually got one.
I had a 1.6 VTEC and a 1.5 VTEC.
Yeah, that's quite rare, the 1.5 VTEC.
Yeah.
I mean, the 1.6. I drove a 1.6 VTEC, not EE, but 1.6, which is an auto. It was an SC Executive with a beige leather interior, sir.
It used to go quite well. 1.6 was quite a nippy car.
The 122 is quite nippy.
Yeah.
Because there's like several 1.6 D series, and that's obviously the B series is a 1.8. That's really fast.
Yeah.
But the 122 is all right. The thing was, the one I drove was an automatic, so it wasn't the fastest.
Right, okay.
But it had a beige leather interior. It was dark green, sir. So, there we go.
All boxes tick to you.
Yeah. He's just finished doing some work on it. Excellent, that's good. He's been doing that car for ages. Like he's been rebuilding half the side of it because they rust so badly and were sold.
They used to be very popular in London before Ulez.
Yes, very loads. Yeah,
you're right, because you don't see them anymore.
No, because they all of them fall foul. Yeah, all of them fall foul. I think 2001 was the last one, and they all fall foul of it.
Really?
Yeah. Civic 5-door was replaced in 2001 with the EP3 type, which is very different.
So I know one you might just get away.
I don't think they are because I think they kept the D series into the EP3 type. They're not all called the EP3. It's over Type R, but they had a 1.4, 1.6 as well.
Right. Okay.
I think most of that type, because my uncle had one of those. It was like a 1.4S or something. It was all right. It was, I don't know, a car. I mean, it drove all right. They just weren't like the most interesting looking cars. They're all right.
No.
Then we've got, here we go. I've got a Bond Matchbox Renault 11.
Oh, cool.
Roger Moore drove bits of Matchbox Bond Renault Cabriolet from Octopussy.
From Octopussy,
yeah, with the lady whose name I can't remember, who appears at the beginning. I don't remember her name.
Or with the questionable horse box.
The questionable horse box, yes, sir.
And then Bond sort of gets a plane, doesn't he? And he goes fuller up.
Acrostar Minijet, I think it's called, that plane. I think that's what it's called. I think that's what it's called, yeah.
Well, you would know.
Yes, sir. So inaugural Shambolic Shuffle, the very first one, 2019 London Classic Car Show. It's not an event that's happened for a few years, actually. The last time in 2023.
Yes.
And it's a little bit disappointing because it's not a very big show.
No.
And it's quite expensive to get in.
Yes.
Like, I did the whole thing. I think I did 4 or 5 parts of the whole thing.
That's nothing.
And I was like, yeah, I know. And and that includes the auction as well. The problem with it was, like, it's supposed it's sort of touted as like the NEC. That thing is not even big as half as a Practical Classics show. There is no way that you need 3 days to go around there. And there's also, it's really expensive. It was in Kensington in Olympia, which is all right. I'm sure it would have been bigger actually at the Excel Centre where it originally was. I also went to 2021, was at Scion Park and outdoors, and again it wasn't massive. It was like 4 or 5 parts or something, and I sort of enjoyed it. But they don't. I think maybe it's just not making enough money or something, because exhibition space is really expensive, isn't it?
Yes, that's very true.
Yeah. Andrew Barry likes Sophie Dalton. Martin Badbooks is laughing. Frazzle Face says of watching the film. Yeah, we were so convincing that we.
You were. Yeah.
I tried my best, sir.
It was very good.
Oh,
that's your French degree paying off.
Yes, my degree in French. I've been.
It's finally paid off.
It's indeed so. Mr. Harwood says nearly done. I hope MBT by the end of April. Wow, my gosh, that car's been off the road for I don't know how long. Mark from Bad Book says it was a lady called Bianca in Octopussy. I think it was the name of the part. I don't think it was the name of the actress. I don't know what she was called.
And then there's another chap who's doesn't Roger sort of nick his ID or something like that? Is that right? And then he says, "Oh, you're
Toro
too,
that's
or
it.
something like that."
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
And he gets rumbled, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. So I don't get that. Would you like to have a go at it?
So can you play the piano bit?
Of course I can.
I can sing that. Yeah.
Have a go.
My gosh, his car's been off road for 14 years.
What? And this is the Honda Civic.
Yeah, the 1.8 VTI. I mean, that's it. Once you get that back on a road show, I know you're not going to sell it because it's been in your family forever. But like that's going to be worth a lot of money because the VTIs are worth serious cash now.
Yes, they are.
And if you've done all that work to it, I think he used like an entire cell from a 45 because you can actually still get the powers of the 45. So he incorporated that into the MB Civic, and it's MB6 I think if those are called. If you want to.
Yes.
MB6. What I drove, as you saw, was an MB2 automatic, which wasn't quite as bad as you'd imagine.
No.
You might be the slowest car in the world, but it was all right.
You could get those engines in the Del Sol as well, couldn't you?
Yeah, you get a Del Sol D series, and the B series, I think, as well. Right. Anyway, I'm going to have to adjust this seat, and then we're going to have to do something.
Why do you have to adjust the seat? Do you need the lyrics?
No, the seat. This seat here.
Oh, I see. Oh, just kick it back.
Yeah, hang on.
Kick it back.
I think I've done it.
Oh, well
done it, sir. Right.
Oh, very good.
You're going to give me an introduction with Russian Love, so you're going to do.
Yes, you get 4 bars.
Do you know what Matt Monroe's real? Do you know what Matt Monroe's real name was?
I bet you do.
Terry Parsons.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, he was a truck driver, like Sean Connery was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're both truck drivers.
Who's watching?
Sorry?
Who's watching?
We can't see it. It's over there.
Oh, is it not right?
So it's over there, sir.
Oh, okay.
I can't see from here.
I see.
My eyesight's not that good.
Oh, is it not? Oh,
No.
mine is.
Right.
So
here we go.
Bars.
So nice.
This is unrehearsed.
Is unrehearsed, impromptu.
Yes, both impromptu and unrehearsed. Is that okay?
From Russia with love, I fly to you. Much wiser since my goodbye to you. I've traveled the world to learn. I must return from Russia with love. I've seen places, faces, and smiled for a moment, but oh, you haunted me so. Still my tongue-tied young pride would not let my love for you show. In case you'd say no. To Russia I flew, but there and then I suddenly knew you'd care. my running around is through. I fly to you from Russia with love.
Very good.
I didn't fake like Tom Jones to go to Thunderball.
No,
I can't actually sing the top A note, so
yes.
I wouldn't have done that.
Yes, I think you probably would.
He says, "Can we sing on days like these?" I don't know the words to that, so no, we're not singing days like these. I don't know the words to that.
That's not James Bond, is it?
It's not, sir. It's Italian job.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I thought it was Jess Glynn.
We haven't got the music for that, so
no.
no.
We could probably find it, but it's.
So I think we're probably going to have to kind of draw this to a close because I didn't think we'd be singing Matt Monroe this evening.
Well, no. Okay,
It was kind of on topic though.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's not. There's not loads of cars in Russia with Love, really.
Yes.
It's not. It's not really. There's no video really to make about it.
No.
There's a few, but like.
It's quite a good film from Russia.
It's very good. There's not much in the way of like car chases. There's a nice bit at the beginning where he has a phone call when he's
only 3.5 litres.
I think he's by the Thames on that somewhere.
Yes.
Where he's doing that with the young. Oh no, yeah, it's Eunice Gates and Sophie French.
Is that one with Klebb in it as well?
Yeah, Rosa Klebb. Yeah.
Yes.
Lottie Lenya. She was a singer. Wasn't
Yes.
she?
Who's the blonde lady?
Daniela Bianchi, who appears in, and this is something that how do I put this? There is a film made in 1967 called Operation 007, starring Neil Connery, Sean Connery's brother.
No.
I'm not joking. I wish I was, but I'm not.
Right.
It stars Bernard Lee,
yes,
Guy Dolman, who's Count Lippy
right,
in Thunderball, who also he played Blofeld in Russia with Love and Thunderball. He was the physical body, and then the voice was Eric Pullman.
Oh, okay.
So different actor for the voice of the body.
Right.
So Guy Dolman's in it, Daniela Bianchi in it, Lois Maxwell's in it.
Wow.
She has a machine gun.
What?
And
It's Moneypenny's got a machine gun.
Yeah, she has a machine gun.
Outrageous.
And also Adolfo Celli, who is the villain of Thunderball.
Yes.
They're all in Operation 007.
No way.
It's an Italian. It was a Eurospy film, which is a technical term for these. You would not believe how many Eurospy films there are. There are tons and tons of them.
So Russia and Love is 64, isn't
63.
it? And then Goldfinger is
64.
What comes after that?
Thunderball.
Right. So it's the same year as Thunderball then, at least.
No, it's 67. Connery.
Right. Okay.
Or it's Operation 007, Operation Kid Brother, or OK Connery.
It's quite weird how they sort of got, so you'd have thought they would have been tied into, the Danjak.
Apparently, they got paid a lot more money for doing those than they did for the Mission
That's
Bond
why
films.
Sean Connery did Never Say Never Again, didn't he?
I think they paid him a lot of money.
Yes.
And he had a fair amount of creative control because, as he said, Jack Schwartzman wasn't any good at producing it.
Of course, they had Kim Basinger in as well.
Yeah, I never know. I think it's Kim Basinger. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I never know.
That's in the Citroen Zara.
Yeah. That's Claudia Schiffer.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Having driven two Zaras, I wouldn't say particularly. Even the VTS model is exciting enough for Claudia Schiffer to drive it.
I had a Zara Picasso, and I'd agree with you.
Yeah, we did one of those, sir. We can't talk about it though.
Right.
It was no, I'm not allowed to say. I'm not allowed to say so. Oh, look, here we go. Brother says, did they reanimate Mike Monroe? No, they did not. Says, well done. Martin Babbitt says, you have to sort out the crankcases, Rob and Simon. Oh, right, that's Beards and Bangers and Smashing Pistons. Sure, it says a new dimension live stream content. Well,
it seems to be going down quite well.
It does, sir. And Valface, can we get Mr. Coleman to play the guitar or drums?
Does he play?
Mr. Coleman, I don't think is very musical.
Okay.
He likes music, he listens to a lot of music, but he's not. I don't think he's sort of like that.
Well, Mr. Pryor does play trombone.
Yeah.
So maybe we can get Mr. Pryor involved.
JC's
Fire, if you enjoy,
JC's Operation Gland Slam. That's the Goldfinger.
Yes, it is.
Right, I think we're going to end here because we've been on here an awful lot longer than I imagined we would.
That's usually sort of only about an hour. So yeah,
It's,
they've got value for money tonight.
Value for money. You had 3 songs.
Please hit the like button because only one person is. So
we'll have to. No, but this is an old thing. We'll have to look on there and see if it.
Okay.
On there. I'll see you in a minute. Right.
Yes.
Yes, I think Roger's going to have to be taken home soon. He's looking a bit he's looking a bit tired.
He's looking a bit peaky, sir.
He is, so he's looking a bit tired. So we're going to have to take him back. So I shall have to go and switch this off.
Yes.
But thank you, all of you who've been watching this evening. It's been a new dimension in YouTube entertainment.
Yes.
Thank you for, if those of you who've been there all the way, that's quite something.
Yes.
And I don't know when some point, and we'll have to get some more music in, won't we, sir?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Right. Thank you, everyone.